Well, welcome to the video series on creating niche review websites. And these can also be just niche content websites. You don't necessarily have to review things. I've always found that that works best and makes you the most money. The thing I love about this method is it's completely hands-off. You don't have any customers. You don't have any support. It's basically just creating websites, getting them ranked, and then kind of collecting money on autopilot, whether it be from Amazon, AdSense, or any other affiliate program. They're a great way to get started. They're very easy to set up. I'm going to walk you through the entire process. And I've been using them for years, and they create a great passive income. A lot of them, depending on which type of market you do them on, can continue to make you money months after months, years after years. So with niche review websites, we're basically going to want to monetize them by using either the AdSense, Google AdSense, which is very easy. Or I also, lately, I've really liked using the Amazon affiliate program. And the reason I do like that so much is because, well, for one, Amazon is huge. They have so many different products. Everybody knows Amazon. They trust Amazon. I don't know anybody who has any, thinks it's risky, to order off Amazon. They're just so big, such a household name. They convert very well. And the thing I love about them the most is no matter what type of product you promote on Amazon, you'll get paid on anything that customer buys. Now there is, a window they have to buy within, but you can be advertising one thing and they can buy something completely different and you still get a commission. And because Amazon sells just about, everything under the moon, it's a great way to make a nice affiliate income by using Amazon. You can also use affiliate programs like Commission Junction. I use them a lot. And Share a Sale, shareasale.com is another great one that I've used a lot. They have a lot more, kind of like niche programs. They don't have a lot of the huge advertisers like Commission Junction. Commission Junction has a ton of the big, well-known advertisers, where Share a Sale has a lot more of, kind of niche websites, which are great because they can be easier to rank for because they're in small markets. So that's how we're going to monetize them. What we're going to do is, of course, we're going to build a site with WordPress, and then we're going to look for low competition terms that we can go after to easily rank for. And of course, ranking high is how we're going to get our traffic, ranking high on the search engine. So again, we're going to look for several types of products. Then we're going to look for low competition terms that we can rank for. And on the sites, I recommend that you review the best-selling products in that category. You can make a straight content website. There's nothing wrong with that. That just supplies information and you only make money with AdSense. But I like to find a product category and then review the best-selling products in that category. And then, of course, promote those products on Amazon. Because again, Amazon sells just about everything. And when we do our research, we're going to choose several different products because first we need to find some products or markets we could go after, but then we actually need to go do the keyword research to make sure they have low competition and it's going to be easy to rank for. We don't want to go into huge markets where it's going to be, so much work to try to rank for. We want to go ahead and pick out several different products, and then we're going to go do keyword research in a following video. So let me just jump over to Amazon. So to get started, let me just center this over here a little bit. First, we need to find some products to promote. So over here, you have all their different categories. So just simply pick something you're interested in or just something random. I'm going to go ahead and look at, I like sports. I'm going to look at, how about outdoor recreation? And you can see some of their top products. They have sleeping bags, snow gear, water bottles, knives, tents, backpacks, some head flashlights, binoculars. Again, you just want to start looking for products you think you could promote. I think sleeping bags would be a pretty low competition market. One thing I would avoid is going after huge markets. So I don't want to make a site that reviews iPods or iPads or Kindles, or even, TVs. That's a pretty popular category. So you want to look for something kind of a little off the radar. So for example, tents would be a great off the radar thing. Sleeping bags, I think, is pretty off the radar. The second thing you want to think about is, are people willing to buy this online? So a sleeping bag, pretty easy to ship. I think that's fair to say people would want to buy that online. Same with a backpack. Same with a tent. Tents are big when they're open, but when they're folded up, they're fairly small. For example, a kayak. I personally don't think a lot of people go online to actually buy a kayak. I could be wrong. I've never bought one, but they're pretty big. I would assume shipping expenses can get rather expensive. So in my opinion, I think people go online to research kayaks, and then they go to their local sporting store and buy it there. So kayaks is still a viable category. We're going to review, products, but on that kind of site, we would probably want to focus on AdSense, because people are on there just looking for more information. So AdSense would be a great monetization for that. Binoculars, fair to say people would buy that online. So again, now you want to be jotting down, any ideas you're coming across. So I would jot down sleeping bags, tents, backpacks. I could jot that down. This is actually a $50 backpack. You don't want to sell stuff that's a couple bucks. So a water bottle, they're probably going to be $5, $10. You're not going to get very much commission on that. So you want it to be, somewhat expensive to boost your commissions. So I think sleeping bags is a great one. Tents is another great one. Backpacks, even though this is a $55 backpack, I think I would skip that. Snow gear might be one. Let me click on that and kind of see what else. Skis, snowboards, snowshoes would be something I think people would buy online. They're probably pretty expensive. Helmets, that could be another great category. So again, I just want to be jotting these down. Let's look at sleeping bags again. And actually, some of these sleeping bags are pretty cheap. $25. Here's a $50 one. I'm kind of, when I was thinking sleeping bags in my head, I was thinking of sleeping bags, like this one, a 0 degree mummy bag. So a sleeping bag where you're going to go somewhere and it's really, really cold. So I think that's a great category as well. Another thing you can do, let me go back to sports and outdoors. Actually, let me jump back to the homepage. Let's say let's go to golf. I'm actually a pretty avid golfer. I don't buy a lot of my golf clubs online. I go to the local golf store. Golf balls, possibly. Again, that's going to be a pretty competitive market. So just right here, I'm not seeing a lot of golf items that could be good. What else do we have here in sports? Again, helmets I think could be a pretty good one. Go-karts. Probably not a lot of people buying those online. I could be wrong. So again, that's basically the gist of it. There's nothing special or nothing advanced about this. We're just going to go on Amazon and look for popular products. Anytime you want to go back and change the category, let's look at home and garden. How about patio, lawn, and garden? And another thing you can do is up here you can see bestsellers. So I can click on that. That's going to show me the best sellers in patio, lawn, and gardens. Again, we want products that people are actively looking for and buying. So looking at the bestseller list is a great place to get some ideas as well. What do we have here? A wireless barbecue thermometer. Now that's pretty cool. And that would be a pretty under the radar niche. I don't know how much demand there is for that, but that's a pretty cool idea. We got some grill covers. So these are the best sellers. Nothing here is really jumping out at me. A lot of grill covers, a lot of just like insect repellents, light bulbs. I'm not seeing anything too promising in that one. We can go to baby. That's a popular one. Strollers. We can look at bestsellers again here. And here we're just popping up a lot of toys. But I think you get, the idea. We don't need to do this forever here. But again, just go to Amazon, look at some different categories, a category you may be interested in, or even a category you're not. Look for products. Again, you want to find a product that is going to have several options so you can have something to review. So for example, a Kindle, you can review, the Kindle Touch, and the Kindle Fire, but it's not going to give you a lot of opportunity to review different products and rank them. So again, sleeping bags I think is a great example because there's going to be a lot of different choices of sleeping bags people can buy. There's a lot of different choices of skiing helmets people can buy, a lot of different choices on tents people can buy. So again, jot down several ideas. Probably want to make a list of 5 to 10 because then we're going to go and do keyword research and look for which ones have the best opportunity to be able to rank for. So again, that's it for this video. That is just gathering your initial ideas, your initial data. And now in the next video, we're going to take it a step further and start actually looking at the keyword research and seeing which topics are good ones to go after. Now in this video, we are going to dig into keyword research. So at this point, you should have a handful of product ideas to go after. And now we actually need to go do some niche research to figure out which ones are viable ideas. For niche research, or for keyword research, I always use a tool called Market Samurai. In my opinion, I've used a ton of them out there. This is always the best one because of all the different features they have. They do offer a free trial. So even if you don't want to go ahead and buy it, because I believe, let me click on the full version here. It looks like it is $150. So, it does cost some money. In my mind, it's just a necessary tool to have for any online marketer. But that being said, I know if you don't want to pay the $150, they do have a free trial version. So you can go ahead and download the free trial version. Won't cost you a penny. And then you can at least do your keyword research and have that done. And then if you want to, buy the full version, that's up to you. So I'm just going to open up Market Samurai here. And I'm going to create a new project. And I'm going to do sleeping bag. And then I will simply create that project. And from here, if I slide this over, you can see you have a bunch of different options. We're going to go ahead and do keyword research. And from here, we are simply going to go ahead for phrase length. I like to have, just a one keyword phrase usually isn't going to be a viable option. So I'll at least put it to 2. You could probably even do 3, but we'll leave it at that. I'm going to leave the max at 10. So no keyword longer than 10 words. It's not really going to find those anyways. And I'm going to go ahead and generate keywords. And this will take a couple moments here, so I'll just pause the video while that works through. All right, so Market Samurai has brought back 780 different keywords. One thing I will point out here is the keyword source is the Google keyword tool. So you don't need to go ahead and use that because this will actually incorporate it right in. To get a lot of the features, you will need an AdWords account. So whatever your, just if you don't have a Google AdWords account, you just get a Gmail address and then go ahead and sign up for AdWords. You don't actually have to spend any money. AdWords just needs to be active on that email address. So you will want to go ahead and do that because that'll bring back more data. So you can see I have a whole bunch of terms here. So now what we're going to do is go to keyword analysis. And this is going to give us, of course, our traffic. This is phrase to broad, not something I'm really interested at the moment. Let me slide this over. So what I want is I want total searches. You can leave SEO traffic. That'll estimate how much traffic you would get if you were ranked number 1. I don't really want phrase to broad. Trends can be nice because you can see if trends on this peaks during different times of the year. I personally is not real interested. We're not going to be buying any AdWords, so I'm going to leave all of those blank. But we do want the title competition because this will show which people are actually using that keyword in their title tag, which gives you a little better representation of how much competition it will be. And you can do the title to competition. It's just a ratio of those two. So again, if you get a low score there, it'll give you a good idea that there's weak competition. Excuse me. I don't really need any commercial intent, anything like that. So those are what I do. I do total searches, SEO traffic. Then we want SEO competition, title competition, and the title divided by competition. One other thing, I like to do monthly, so I have a good idea of how much traffic that keyword will get per month. And then we also don't want broad, because broad will bring you back inflated results. So you want to do phrase or exact. I'll usually do exact because that's going to give me the lowest possible number. So I don't want to overestimate on how much traffic I could be getting. So I put that at exact. Phrase is also a good idea because when we do our link building, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but we're going to be varying the terms we use. So phrase is a good indication too, but I'm going to leave it at exact, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit analyze keywords, and I'll pause that again because it's going to take a little time. Okay, so it's done bringing that information back. So now we can see we have the SEO competition, and that's just the total number of web pages globally that mention that keyword term. And they mention that keyword term anywhere on their page. So that's, it's a good number to have because it can show you stuff that no one's even talking about, like the 1.5 TOG baby sleeping bag. Barely anybody is talking about that, and it doesn't get much traffic, so that's probably why. So what we want to do from here is let's sort this by searches. So if I just click on searches, and you're going to see, because it brought back so many terms, we're going to have a lot of unrelated terms in here, like camping equipment, camping gear. But now we just want to start looking at possible keywords that could make for a good market to go after. So baby sleeping bags, that's kind of niched down. I never really thought of that myself. And then we can go ahead and check the title tag competition. And this is going to be a better indication of how much competition this is. So this is how many web pages out there are using the term baby sleeping bags in their title tag. Now, with SEO, putting the keyword in your title tag is a very important factor. So that shows how many web pages out there are really going after that term. So for this, it's 163,000, which is a fairly large amount. And then we have baby sleeping, then we have kids sleeping bags. Let's check that one. And for kids sleeping bags, you can tell right there, that's a good indication. For kids sleeping bags, there's 11 million different websites with that in their title tag, compared to baby sleeping bags, which only has 163,000. So, this one has 100 times the amount of competition, if my math is correct. I think it is, yeah. So there's 100 times more competition for kids sleeping bags, but look at the traffic. They're the same. They're both 8,100 searches per month, and that's on exact. So that, baby sleeping bags right now looks like a great term to possibly go after. We have baby sleeping bag, so that has no plural on it. So let me check that one. And that one's got a little more competition and less traffic. So again, baby sleeping bags is still looking like a pretty good one. Let's keep looking. We have a double sleeping bag. Very low amount of competition, and only 40,000 websites are using that. So another very good one. Let's keep looking here. Sleeping bag reviews. Let's check that one out. Only 23,000 websites are using that in their title tag. Now that's the exact kind of term I'm looking for, because if I'm going to go out and make a website reviewing sleeping bags, the main term I'm probably going to go after is sleeping bag reviews. Now, if someone is going online and typing in sleeping bag reviews, they're far into the buying process. They're not just looking for information. They're not just browsing. They're looking for reviews. They want to know which one they should buy. So that right there is a perfect term to go after. We have down sleeping bags, kids sleeping bag. Let's check that one out. 44,000. Toddler sleeping bag, only 10,000. Best sleeping bag. So people wondering, what's the best sleeping bag? Let me check that one. And that's only got 10,000, which is very low. We have cheap sleeping bags. We can check that one. Only 7,000. So I can tell already just by looking at these that there's a lot of low competition terms that are still getting fairly good traffic. 1,000 searches a month on exact search is pretty good. It's not going to be a killer market that's going to make you a ton of money, but it's the perfect place to get started because it has such low competition. So let's browse a little farther. What else do we got here? Best sleeping bags. Again, that's another good one. Only 29,000 going after that. And then we start getting some product names like the big Agnes sleeping bag. I'm not sure what that is, but probably a product. So that's going to be a product we would think about reviewing. Here's another double sleeping bag. Again, pretty low. Star Wars sleeping bag. Who doesn't want one of those? Here's another Van Gogh sleeping bag. It's another product brand. Very low competition. So I'm seeing a couple of things here. One, I'm seeing that this is a very good market. Number two, I'm already seeing that the main terms I might go after, like sleeping bag reviews and best sleeping bags, have a decent amount of traffic and very low competition. So that's another bonus. And I'm also seeing some secondary markets. Like here again is 2-person sleeping bag, and that's actually got a ton of competition. So that's a great example of a market that you want to avoid. It's only got 880 searches and 11 million different websites mentioning that. We got backpack sleeping bags. Let's take a look at that. 8,000, very small again, the plural. 39,000. Here's a dog sleeping bag. We have a dog, and there's no way I could get him to ever sleep in a sleeping bag. Hello Kitty sleeping bag. My daughter would love that. 0 degree sleeping bag. Now I saw a lot of those on Amazon, and that's got some pretty decent competition. Here's more baby sleeping bags. Baby sleep bag. And actually, I have kids. I don't think that's actually a sleeping bag. It's a little fleece thing you put them in when they go to sleep. We use those. We call it a sleep sack, if anybody's interested. But I think you get the point here. That's kind of how we do our market research. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top. And right now I can already see this is a great market. Some things I'll point out. Searches, you want to have at least a couple thousand. 1,000 exact searches is decent. You're going to be able to get some traffic off of that. Not a ton, as opposed to a market that had 50,000 searches a month. But for just an example, we checked that competition. And you can see 3 million. So the competition is very high. So for me personally, for this example, I am very happy that I see, where was it here? Best sleeping bag, only 10,000 people using that in their title tag. And then there was a review somewhere here. If I can find it. Sleeping bag reviews, 23,000. So those are probably two great terms that I'll target with my homepage. Sleeping bag reviews and best sleeping bag. You want to look for an SEO title tag competition. I would say under 100,000. And if you can get down below 50,000 and even these 20,000, that's a very realistic term to go after and get traffic for. Again, pretty good traffic. One last step you can take is you can see actually how hard it'll be to rank for that term. If I click on the key, it's going to open up a new tab. Let me scroll this down. You see it opened up a new tab here. So now it's going to isolate that word. And now I can check out the SEO competition for that keyword. I will generate the results. I'll pause it. This will take a minute. And this will show you who is ranking currently for that keyword. Let me stretch this out so we can. So number one is sleeping bag reviews. So obviously somebody with the same idea that I have. But then what we can do is we can look at how well they're optimized. So their page rank is 0. That's a good sign. They have 140 pages indexed. That's pretty good. we have the backlinks to the page. So how many backlinks they have? They have 554, which is, a fairly good amount. And they have 800 backlinks to their domain. They're not in DMOZ, they're not in Yahoo, but they are using sleeping bag reviews in their title tag, their URL, their description, and their heads. They're pretty well optimized. If you see a lot of green on this page, that'll tell you that it's a term you can rank for more easily. If you see a lot of red, that's not quite as good. That's going to show you that there's a lot of competition. But for me personally, when I see the top site is a page rank 0 and the second one is a page rank 2, that's not too tough to go out and tackle. And the third one is a page rank 5, but they're not even using sleeping bag reviews in their title, in their URL, in their description, or their head. So they're not. I wouldn't say that they're actively targeting that keyword. So to me, sleeping bag reviews still looks like a good keyword, because I'm pretty confident I can get that onto the first page. And my other one was best sleeping bag. Let me bring that one up. Again, I just hit the little key. That opens up a new tab. I'll do some SEO competition, and I will generate those results. And now we can say, looks like number 1 is REI, which is a big, outdoor supplier. But again, when I look over here, they're not using sleeping or best sleeping bag in their title, in their URL, or their description. So I wouldn't say they're actively going after that keyword. Not really, maybe one of these, and that's Overstock. And this one is the best sleeping bag. So they are actively going after it. They, put that in their title. They put it in their URL. So they're actively going after it. They got 377 backlinks, which is a pretty good amount. But again, a lot of the main people on the front page aren't actively going after best sleeping bag review. They're just showing up because, they have a ton of links to their overall website. REI has 4 million backlinks to their site, not to that page, just their site. So they're just ranking strictly on that. They're not necessarily optimizing it for that. So that pretty much covers keyword research. Again, you want to start looking for some low competition keywords. Let's say my initial idea was kids sleeping bags. Let me bring this back over here. So let's say my initial idea was kids sleeping bags, and I go ahead and bring that up, and there's 11 million websites using that in their title tag. Right there, I'll just cross that one off the list. Too much competition. Let's say my initial idea was Coleman sleeping bags. Let's say I was just going to review Coleman sleeping bags. And actually, not a lot of competition on that either. But again, with Coleman sleeping bags, you're going to have a problem ranking for that because Coleman is obviously going to be number 1. So again, look for keywords that have a fair amount of searches. I would say between a couple thousand is a good place to start. The more you can get, the better. You want to have a low SEO title tag competition because that's people actively going after those keywords. And again, for my example, both of those have low. We have sleeping bag reviews, 23,000, and we have the best sleeping bags, which was 10,000. So that right there meets the criteria. I did a little more in-depth research by looking at the actual SEO. It looks fairly doable. So for me, I have a good market to go after. I'm going to go after best sleeping bags and sleeping bag reviews. And a secondary thing I might take note of was the double sleeping bag. Maybe I could do a site on just reviewing the top double sleeping bags. Not a lot of, overall not a lot of competition there. So go through your keywords. If the first one is a dud, for example, like I said, my first idea was kids sleeping bags, 11 million competing websites, scratch it off, move on to the next one. And again, if you had 5 to 10 ideas, it's going to take some time, I realize that, but try going through them all and finding the best one with the most traffic and the least competition, because it's going to make it easier for you all the way. And that is a pretty good overview of keyword research. This is the type of stuff you should be doing for any website you go out to make. Checking the the search is, seeing what the competition is, and then seeing if they're actively going after that keyword and if you can rank for it. So you got a little bit of work ahead of you. Go ahead and go through your keywords and try to find that winner, and then we'll move on with building the site.